Hello, my name is Hat Kelly. I just read an article in the New York Times about a family that was dealing with addiction to heroin and fentanyl. The son had been the identified patient, and it was about the struggle he had to get clean and sober and the cost of supporting him, what it was like for his family. Uh, and it made me want to make this video. So my story is my brother was the identified patient in our family. He was alcoholic and a drug addict of all sorts of drugs. And as a coping strategy back in the day when everything was going crazy in my childhood, I started smoking marijuana every day from the age of 12 until I went into recovery at 28. I'm now 60. My brother was in recovery for a really long time also, and was a volunteer drug counselor, peer counselor. Um, he has since died. Sadly, he died 7 years ago from consequences and complications of his diabetes, which was directly related to his alcoholism. So, why I wanted to bring this up and why I wanted to make this video, I wanted to say that if you are struggling with addiction, alcoholism, drugs of any sort, or a family member is addicted and you are struggling with supporting them, you are not alone. Actually, there was a book long ago, I think in the 80s, and I can't really remember, maybe it was Melanie Beatty, called When Society Becomes the Addict. I think that was the name of it. I think that's what's happening now. We have a very strong narrative about opioid addiction and fentanyl. That the narrative is that unknowingly, you do some pain management medication and then you're addicted. And it's then you become addicted to heroin because it's cheaper than the opioids. This is a very strong narrative. I don't actually believe it's 100% true. I think that our society has been addicted to alcohol and other substances for a very long time. I know in my family, when I'm running healing circles, I often will say that I come from a long line of alcoholics, a very loving alcoholic family. And so some of the information they gave me when I was growing up is not healthy. And it wasn't that they were denying me something that they had. They didn't have healthy information. They didn't know how to love themselves in a healthy way for the most part. And anything that they did have, they gave to me willingly because they loved me. So it's not about blaming my ancestors. It's about understanding how addiction gets passed down in a family system. A couple things. One is, if we look at it from a family systems point of view and a systems point of view as society, then we can see that there are choices that need to be made that will lead us all to health. Some of it is holding people responsible for their actions, like the drug companies that are flooding communities with opioids and fentanyl. Then there's also responsibility within families, and I'm talking about healthy responsibility, not taking responsibility for someone else, but for yourself. It's tricky, and I can talk about that more later. And then there are things of needing to understand and rebuild self-esteem issues. one of the things that self-esteem is based on is self-trust. And if you're an addict, like I have been, and like my brother was, that's taken a huge blow because you've said, I am going to, tomorrow, I am going to stop smoking. I'm going to stop shooting up. I'm going to start snorting tomorrow. And then the physical addiction starts to be activated as you withdraw from your drug, and you can't do that. It's terrifying, it's painful, it's incredible suffering that you have to embrace. And so you use again, and you have broken trust with yourself. So one of the things we need to work on to rebalance is self-trust. We also have to understand what it means to go into withdrawal. Narcan, which is a drug that you get when you've overdosed. It's a wonderful thing. It saves people's lives. And they give it to you when you're overdosing to save your life. But it slams you into withdrawal. So it's a very painful thing. And the article that I read, it was telling the story of this young man who had overdosed 4 times in one day. Well, they kept bringing him back with Narcan, which would put him into withdrawal. And so then he would try to manage that pain and suffering, physical pain and suffering, by using again. And then, it just cycled through 4 times in one day. So we need to understand the physical ramifications of addiction and how to treat them. There are ways to treat that. You need to get help to treat that. Okay, it's not about willpower. It's about physical illness. The physical withdrawal symptoms need to be managed. And then there's the emotional and spiritual, and that's where I come in. I teach meditation. I teach how to get in touch with your own highest information, your own higher power on an energy level, so it floods into your body, and it floods into your spirit, into your being, so that you actually start your recovery process from a fuller place, filled with love and memory of who you actually are. So there are videos, very short videos on YouTube. My name is Hat Kelly. That's Hatt Kelly, Kelley. And it's on YouTube, so they're free. You can plug into them. And I will be doing more of these talking about addiction. What I want you to understand from this first video, and I just got out of the shower, you can see I'm still wet, but I want you to understand that you're not alone, that you're not alone at all. There are so many of us who are dealing with this. There are so many families who have survived this, and we can do more than survive. We can thrive. We can be pulled out of our own addiction and pulled into being a healer for someone else who's still suffering. You have to work hard at it. You have to find the people that can help you. But there is hope. Do your work. Show up. Learn to love yourself. Get pulled out of yourself by the people who need you. We co-create this world together. The earth needs you. We all need you. Please get some help. Find a way. Love to y'all. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.